Welcome to Inside Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm your host, Devon Jones. Today on our show, we have filmmaker, writer, and director Michal Indrak. Michal, welcome to the show.
Hi, Devon. Thank you very much for having me.
Glad to have you here. All right, Michal, you're one of our many filmmakers we have here, and I love the projects that you've been working on and this new project that you're currently working on. But before we jump into your projects, let's talk about you as a filmmaker. When did you know that filmmaking is a career that you wanted to take?
Um, uh, so officially, I would say it was last 2023. Um, uh, I actually studied before at the university environmental science, so that's a big jump from where I'm now. And I did not enjoy it at all. Well, I did enjoy the subject, but it wasn't something I was very passionate about. So I stepped out back from the studying at the university, and I needed to rethink what I'm doing, if it's the right direction I wanted to go with, and take a little bit break. Regarding break, I didn't take any break, unfortunately, because once I discovered actually what I really, really want to do for my future, I just jump into it. So during the summer holidays, I was thinking if the direction of environmental science is really what I want to do. And I've been thinking and involving my partner. I actually that was the light bulb. That was that I love the films. I always love the films, and I like the stories behind it. And um, um, I like to create the stories, and I would like to give the people my stories and bring them to my worlds and stuff. So I decided I will start studying at the university in London. Um, uh, Film and media practice. I went on an open doors or open night day. Went through the universities, spoke to tutors, and I knew yes, that's exactly what I want to do. So I applied, and yeah, we had a 1 week holidays, and I just filled out the application, signed everything to study at the university, and I just started to work. I just started to study at the university. Yeah, and that's when everything's for me just you know this filmmaking journey started. And I decided because I was very passionate about the films and I wanted to put everything into it. Um, um, I actually even, I went in different courses for 5 weeks in a rain dance, and I didn't wait for any opportunities. So I just started work on myself and tried to gain some experience in the skill. Sort of filming is literally started properly like year ago, literally. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. I love that you got right to it. You didn't wait for anything. Curious, was there any films that stood out to you that kind of like, okay, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do? Or was it mainly just being at the university that kind of, you know,
No, so actually when I was younger, films were my thing. It was a place to go to, a place to go to, watching the films, especially fantasy and sci-fi. It kind of calmed me down because I was brought into a different world, if that makes sense. And I didn't have to think about the world reality here. So it was a place of relax, I would say, and I love the films. The fun fact is, I remember every line from the advertisements for every commercial on the TVs. I remember all the lines when I was younger. And when you grow up, you focus on the different priorities than just the film. So I didn't have the time, but recently, probably last 3 4 years, I signed up into cinema membership, and I was so excited. So I went to cinema and had back this experience of being in a cinema with a huge screen in front of me with the films I really enjoy and like. Um, uh, and I spent in the cinema probably 4 days a week after work or on the weekend. depending on my time, of course. And I just remember how I love this, how I love the films, what joy I had from those films, and so that really helped me to decide to go and study at university, study films. So
Awesome, awesome. Question. So you are a writer and a director. Did you write first or did you direct first?
first, I direct. I tried writing before, but I think after I finished my module at the university, I started to write because I told to my teacher she was better than the YouTube videos. So explaining to me how screenwriting actually works, how to write a screenplay, and so on. So I started after that module actually writing some screenplays. Um, uh, and one of them I did together with one of my friends who actually is studying the same module. So we worked together on a crime film.
Awesome, awesome. And what was the name of that screenplay that your first one that you were
The first one I wrote. Well, the first one is actually the current one, which we wrote many times as well. So it's called Replay. So it's the current film. We finished the production just on Saturday, and we're moving to post-production. Just to give you a brief picture of what the film is about, it's focusing on mental health and AI. So it should bring this question on if it's a good or bad thing to for people to turn to AI instead of people, their friends, as their anchor of help and support regarding mental health issues or any professionals, and better go to the AI. So it is a question of, is a is uh, is a good way to go with, or is it something what is going to actually happen in the future, or it is it is not a way we should go with, because the AI doesn't provide the human emotion and human empathy to people. If you come to your friend, it's a different reaction from your friend than from the AI. Basically, AI is more technical and is going to give you the answers, and he knows, or the AI knows from the research on the on the internet and so on. But people, the difference there. So it should raise this kind of question regarding this subject. So I'm trying to.
interesting? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. You got to keep us updated on the post-production and when it's going to be released. All right, Mikhail, so let's talk about this project that we have here. It's called Whispers, Waves of the Diary. How did that concept come about and what is that film about?
So this film is experimental, very short, kind of documentary type of film. It speaks about a town I moved to like a year and a half ago. I moved here with my partner. We bought a house, which we're renovating, of course. But we fall in love with with this coastal town. That I just wanted to take some shots and see how it's going to come about. And the idea of taking random shots around the town. So it's me on a bike, stop on a beach, stop in the center of the town, and taking a random shot. This idea came out from director Simon Hunter, who did actually do a 5 weeks long directing course in a rain dance. And I spoke to him separately after that course. And he said, I would love to really kind of work and start doing something. What is your advice? And he just said, take your camera and do shots. Doesn't matter, just random shots. Take them, put them into to editing, and just choose, pick, and edit and create something. So that's how it came up about. But also the push to do it was original assignment from my university. Um, um, and after I submitted, I little bit re-edited and just posted on my Instagram. And from the Instagram, there was a message from a festival. It just, submit, submit, submit. I'm like, oh, well, it's a really short, 3 minutes long short film about a coast town where I was inspired the avant-garde and this phantom ride, which was this odd way of filming in a car. So I did it in a bus. And these inspirations were from the classes from one of my tutors. She has amazing classes, so he knows many subjects, history of the cinema and so on. So I just wanted to try experiment to do something what's not usually done during the regular filmings, those rules and stuff. So put it together. I did a voiceover with my friend. So I created this kind of poetic, short experimental documentary to introduce people the town I live in, and show them the beauties of this town.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. And this film, you have it traveling around the film festival circuit. See you won there's some awards there. How's that drops?
I know. Well, yeah, everyone asks me about that. So how, as I said, it started just putting this film on a Instagram, and after I was approached by a couple of festivals, I'm like, okay, fair enough, I can try it. There's nothing special, and it says it won first award for the best first time director, and after, semi-finalists. Oh, okay, and more festivals just came over around on a Instagram. So I just, like, okay, let's try this was just exceptions, those two festivals. So I just put it out there. I just started boom, boom, boom on a Instagram, and later on those festivals, just awards there, finalists there, just a selection. I'm like, wow. At some point it was very much overwhelming because I'm not used to this, receiving awards and being approached on Instagram and so on. So I had to take a little bit of break and just um absorb these awards and these achievements. As I say, I wasn't used to it at all. Um, uh, but yeah, later on it was all fine. Um, uh, but I don't want me to take it into cloud now, nine. This is just the first film and so on. So I'm still kind of okay. Doesn't mean this is going to be all the time. I need to be on the ground and work hard to ensure that at least something's going to come up. But yeah, that's how everything started. And yeah, this film, I'm not going to post anymore. It was too many awards over there. So I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Awesome. I love that. Congratulations on all your award winnings that you've received so far. And
Thank
for for everyone that's listening, yeah, you never know what's at the end of that tunnel. You know, give yourself that chance. That's our motto here. Give yourself a chance, right? You didn't think that your film was going to be anything. You had it on Instagram. You started getting messages from these film festivals, and then boom, awards left and right, right?
That's correct. Yes.
That's awesome. I love to hear that from any filmmaker. All right, Mikhail. So now we're at this project, and this project is a personal project to you. It's called Ashes of Courage. How did you decide to put that project into production?
Right. So this project is in a development. So to give you the backstory, so yes, this is a personal project. It's exactly about my great grandparents based during the Second World War. So I'm from the East Europe, Czech Republic and Slovakia. My grandmother always spoke about them highly and about this story as well. So this story is when the Nazi came into Slovakia, there was this Slovak national uprising, and my great grandfather actually took part of it, but first he had to run away from his home and his six children and wife. Otherwise, he will be captured and probably, killed. So he ran away. He joined the party and was fighting against the Nazis. Unfortunately, he was captured, apparently broken all two legs. He had to heal it in a willy boots in a prison somewhere in Czech Republic and so on. So that's the one part of the story. But the main part I want to more focus is on my great grandmother, who had to be on her own with six children. And I know my grandma and her twin sister, they were at the time maximum of 1 year. So she had to be there alone in this little village in Slovakia at a time when Nazi came over and burned the house down, and they had to run away from the house somewhere to some of the friends with their livestock, children, to a person they know personally, and that person actually was living with his children, five of them, and always had a visit from Nazi people, and he was beaten up usually. So it's more story about her, but as well about my great grandfather as well, to show, during this war, they found the courage to still kind of run away, take care of the family, survive the prison, and the name of Ashes of Courage also should represent kind of rising from the ashes as a phoenix. When phoenix burns down, he rises from the ashes. So they return back, and from the ashes they build their homes again back.
Love that. Love that. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, what's the status of that project? Is it's finished already, or is it still in post-production?
This is the Ashes of Courage actually is a pre-production still because I need to do the interviews so I already finished the interviews with my grandmother, but I had to visit her living siblings, and do interviews with them. I will do some shots. The house still stand there, so I will go to that village, do a few shots around the house, take the pictures, and kind of there's a written short script of that story already, 10-minute short script, which is helping me kind of navigate how to go, where to go, and so on. But yeah, it's in a development, doing the interviews, and after the interviews, I'll be putting more things together. Hopefully, I can get some investment into this film and work on it.
Everyone that's listening, whenever if you see Ashes of Courage, like a GoFundMe or Indiegogo link out there, support and fund this project. Really need to see it. Any film that has like historical context in it, it's worth taking a watch because you never know. There's a lot of stories that hasn't been told, and we look forward to seeing that. Um, oh, so Mikkel, so with these projects that you've been working on, what would you say have been some obstacles that you had to overcome?
Um, um, that's a good question, and I was asked one of my tutors. So my main obstacle was to find myself the courage and bravery to just go out and do this shooting. Never done that before, and I'm not the person I'm not a public speaker. I'm not going to stay the camera. I used to not go out, do the filming and so on, especially when I'm starting the university. So I had to find this kind of courage to go out. And that's very important because, on your mind, it's like, oh my God, people are going to judge me, probably what I'm doing. They will look at me. Who knows what they will think about me. So it's just not to think about it. Just go there, take the camera, do the shots. You can do it with your phone. The Whispers voice diary is done on iPhone 12 only. So you take the phone, do a few shots, short shots, and put them together. And later on in the current film in Red Place, this shooting was a little bit more. So we did it on a beach here, one of the scenes. So that was something that, oh God, people are going to see me, what I'm doing. Gosh. But yeah, everything went well. Um, uh, I had now I have a really good team to work with. So we kind of supporting each other and encouraging each other, which is great. And I'm very pleased for this team because I work with them very well. Um, yeah, so the bravery and courage to go out and really do some shooting was probably the main obstacle, and to overcome these um, um, these obstacles is it was a huge deal for me, really, from the beginning. Now it's everything fine.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Mikkel, we're at that part of the episode where I ask this guest this question. What is a book, a TV show, or a film that you recommend to an aspiring filmmaker?
Mm. But I would love to say some book, but I don't have a time to really read at the moment doing my day job and the other projects and the studies. But I always mention the film at first when I was younger, and it will sounds very old. And I recorded it on a VHS that time, and always when I went to my grandmother, I was watching it all the time, probably 4 times during that weekend. Then the film is Never Ending Story, I think 1984. The reason I fall in love is, it was this fantasy what brought me in, and I love the effects at a time where, there was not a VFX. Those effects were made, those machines were made, those, I don't know, figurine and prosthetics, everything was made by the people, not technology as is these days. And for some reason, I was just taken into it. And I think that's where everything started, is my imagination and want to, have the fantasy and sci-fi, which I thought maybe that's going to be my direction. But that's probably later on. But yeah, this film is probably my number one film. Where probably everything started, in my opinion.
Awesome, awesome. All right, everyone. That was our episode of Insight Plug. Remember, we're gonna get more information on Replaced when gets closer to release, and then also Ashes to Courage. And then Whispers, Waves of the Diary. Is that anywhere where audience can check that out?
Oh yeah, it's on my YouTube, so anytime you can check it out. It's
All
fine,
right.
yeah.
All right. And we'll get that YouTube link in the description so everyone can check that out. All right, this has been an episode of Insight Plug. If you loved what you heard today, don't forget to check out some of our previous episodes on Insight Plug on YouTube. That's Insight Plug with two G's. We're here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Macau, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right, everyone. Thank you again. This has been Devon Jones from Insight Plug. Stay inspired and keep creating. Insight Plug, signing out.